A few days later, Garnet called Ray into the principal's office to discuss something. Garnet also asked Ray to call her by name only. They had since retired from the battlefield, and the post did not need to be used again.
何とお呼びすれば？
アビーちゃん。
アビーちゃん。
Then Garnet wants to ask Ray for help because something threatens this academy. She explained through a piece of paper, and when Ray read it, it turned out that a spy from the Empire was hiding in this academy. Garnet had already told the other teachers about this. If Ray finds anything suspicious, Garnet instructs him to report it immediately. Ray's identity is still unknown to anyone. Therefore, it is highly likely that the spy does not know Ray's identity. Garnet also apologizes to Ray for involving him again in an important mission. The country's situation has been going through a chaotic period recently, and Garnet also hopes to resolve this matter in secret.
そういうところ、あいつにそっくりだ。
懐かしいものですね、アビーちゃん。
At night, Ray and Evie are doing hot activities in the room. Don't think anything strange just yet. I mean, they are exercising as usual. They have to do this activity regularly to maintain body muscles. Then Ray told Evie that he planned to join 2 clubs at once. Ray had wanted this for a long time because he had to do what he could at this academy. One of the clubs Ray wants to join is Evie's club. Ray had long since obtained a gold level hunter's identity or license, so he could apply himself to the club later.
マジかよ。
The next day, Ray immediately came to the Environmental Research Club. The club president, I'll call him Terry, said he had heard reports from Evie about Ray. The Environmental Research Club is a special hunters club to explore forests, rivers, etc. Terry will not discriminate against ordinary people like Ray, but must show his worth as a club member. Then Ray immediately showed his muscles, and the members were very surprised because Ray had muscles like that under his thin clothes. Terry was amazed by Ray's muscles, and he was sure that Ray had a gold-level hunter ID card. Ray said that the muscles he has are the result of training in the jungle of his hometown. He also showed that identity, and everyone was amazed by him. A young man can get that is a great thing. Because of that, Terry accepted Ray to become a new member of this club. After that, Ray immediately met Rebecca at the Flower Garden Club. Ray wants to join this club because he really loves flowers and plants. No matter how cruel the environment is, flowers and plants can still live beautifully. Ray also doesn't mind if there's only him as a man in this club. He can interact with girls and people of all ages. The other members are surprised by the presence of men in the club because they think men are rude. Men definitely couldn't take care of the plants and flowers. A girl named Dina Sarah can't accept Ray to join this club. He must have just wanted to get close to Rebecca, who belonged to the 3 great nobles. Initially, Rebecca had wanted to agree to Ray's request, but she left this decision up to Sarah. Sarah had to test Ray so she could trust his intentions.
よろしくお願いします、セラ先輩。
どうせすぐに化けの皮が剥がれるに決まってるわ。
Then Sarah immediately took Ray to the land on the roof of the academy building, which was still full of grass. Sarah said that this would be a new garden that would be managed by Rebecca's club. Ray had to tidy this land and make garden preparations in a week alone. Then Sarah left there, and she was sure that Ray would not be able to pass this test. Then Rebecca gave a sandwich for Ray's lunch on the 3rd day. This is Rebecca's favorite food, and she told the academy to keep selling it. Rebecca could ask something like this because she was the student council president. Ray really enjoyed Rebecca's favorite sandwich. He also didn't expect that one of the great noble families was also the student council president here. Then Rebecca told Ray to rely on her for anything in this academy. Rebecca would always be ready to help him.
何でも聞いてくださいね。えへ。
Then they saw that there were students who were practicing swords today. The Magic Sword Night competition is about to be held. This competition was the determination of the strongest Magic Sword Knight, so the students would definitely be training hard like this every day. Rebecca also hopes Ray can take part in the competition. Then Rebecca's eyes suddenly attracted to Ray's body. She also asked Ray for permission to hold his body. Rebecca was very curious about this. After Ray allowed it, Rebecca was amazed because it was her first time holding a man's muscles like this. Then Ray said that he often trains muscles in the forest of his hometown. On the other hand, Wanda and her friends were very jealous of Ray. They accused him that Ray was dissatisfied with Amelia, so he also targeted and seduced Rebecca.
下船なオーディナリーらしい考えだわ、まったく。
On the fourth day, Ray finally succeeded in completing Sarah's exam. Because of that, Sarah accepted Ray to join the Flower Garden Club, and they immediately planted flowers together on the land. Then Ray met Clarice alone in the academy garden when he came dormitory. He was curious why Clarice was always alone every time she did her activities. Then Clarice replied that none of the students wanted to be her friend. Clarice loved insects, which was strange for nobles. He usually loved dogs or cats. Then Ray said that he also loved insects because he comes from rustic. Clarice's fondness for insects was not uncommon. After all, Ray had become Clarice's friend, so Clarice could chat with Ray about insects if she wanted. Ray felt his chatter could be on the same frequency as Clarice.
やったー、初めての友達ができちゃった。レイがそこまで言うなら付き合ってあげるわよ。
The next day, the lesson from Gray is about magic levels. Gray said today's material was complex because the students had to thoroughly understand it. Even I, who worked on this script myself, had difficulty understanding it. Then Gray told Ray to explain this. The level of magic is divided into 4: low, mid, high, and saint. Magicians usually use 7 branches of magic: extensive chain, extensive, material shift, delay, chain, remote, and quick. Gray is very proud because Ray is studying hard at this academy, while the other students were amazed to hear the detailed explanation from Ray, including Amelia and Elisa. But Albert still hates Ray because he is just an ordinary person. Then Gray said that the training in Kafka Forest would start soon, so the students must form a party of 4 people. As usual, Wanda and Albert were at a party with their friends, while Amelia was being fought over by the students, but she ignored them and kept glancing at Ray. Kafka Forest is a forest infested with monsters, so students must choose someone with power. Ray was confused because the students wouldn't want to have a party like him, but Evie invites Ray to make a party because only Ray is Evie's close friend. After all, Ray had a gold level hunter's license, so Evie didn't have to worry about Ray's abilities. Then Ray looked at Elisa, who had the same fate as him. None of the students wanted to invite her to join. Because of that, Ray took Elisa so she could finish this training. At first, Elisa refused because she was a weak student and would definitely become a burden to Ray's party. But Ray didn't care about that, and he immediately seduced Elisa like this.
君が必要なんだ。
It turns out that Amelia also intends to join Ray's party. In her mind, she was curious about Ray's true figure. Then Ellie saw Ray, and Evie agreed to Amelia's request, and Ray's party members were complete. All the students were shocked because Amelia, a daughter of the 3 great nobles, would rather join the commoners than the other students. Of course, Albert hated Ray's presence in this academy even more. Training finally begins, and Gray tells the rules and tasks that students must carry out. Today's training target was to get to the deepest of the forest. They also have checkpoints at each post provided by the teachers. Students must stamp their books every time they reach the checkpoint post. The number of stamps will be of value to the students, and the training is limited to 24 hours. Kafka Forest is also suitable for their combat training to become a magician, so students have to fight seriously when encountering monsters there. Their abilities were also assessed in battle, and the weakest party would definitely not level up. Then Gray told the students to get ready in their respective positions that had been prepared by the teachers. After each party got into their respective positions, they had to wait for the teacher's signal to start training. Evie said that Ray looked relaxed in this training, and Ray replied that he had missed this atmosphere for a long time. Ray reasons that he comes from the rustic and often explores forests and mountains. While Elisa was very nervous about this training, Amelia calmed her down. Then Amelia suggested dividing the party positions. Ray and Evie had to line up in the front position, while Amelia was in the middle and Elisa were in the back. Everyone agrees with Amelia's suggestion, but Ray says he wants to switch places with Amelia. Ray said that he had experience in a forest like this, so it was better for him to be in the back position to guard them. Even though Amelia was curious about Ray, she still complied because Ray reasoned reason that he lived in the forest of his hometown. Then Gray started today's training, and the students immediately explored the forest and fought the monsters there.
やったね。
いい調子だ。
あんたスタンプよ。
ペロッとな。
糸両断。
At night, Ray's party rested in the middle of the forest while evaluating their exploration for the day. Elisa and Amelia were surprised because they had just discovered that Ray could easily defeat many monsters. He even knows how to survive by eating plants in Kavka Forest. Then Ray still used the excuse that he was used to doing this in the forest of his hometown. But Amelia remains curious and suspicious of Ray's figure.
田舎のねえ。
田舎の森万能理論が疑われている。
Then Evie said that he was surprised to see Amelia wanting to join this party. Amelia says that she really hates the system of bloodline and status. Discrimination against every noble is an act that is not good. Even though Amelia's family is the leader of the 3 great nobles, she doesn't want to be bound by rules. She wants to live in this academy freely. Amelia is pleased because she has friends who don't really care about her status as noble, unlike the other students who always look at anything from their status.
私は努力して今の私になったのに。もうエリサってば本当に可愛いわね。
Then Evie relied on Ray because he could guide the party and share his experiences with them. But suddenly, Ray remembered one of his superiors who said almost the same thing as Evie. For Ray, this forest is paradise compared to the battlefield in the past. Even Ray still feels guilty for past events that he didn't want.
レイどうかしたの？
明日に備えてもう寝よう。
While they were sleeping, Ray was still guarding them so that no monsters would attack suddenly. Ray also remembered what his teacher had said. He didn't need to completely hide his identity. Ray's teacher told him to tell Ray's true identity to friends he trusted.
本当に心から信頼できる仲間ができたのなら。
The next day, Ray's party heard the screams of another party in a dangerous state. Ray immediately headed there and told his friends to continue the exploration first. Ray ran fast with his skill and saw a monster in front of him. It turned out that Albert's party was in a bad state today, and Albert was very frightened by the sight of the monster. Because of that, Ray killed the monster quickly.
完成制御。
Luckily, Ray manages to save them in time, but Albert doesn't thank him. Albert says he can defeat the monster alone without help from the arrogant Ray. Not long after, Ray's friends also came to see the situation there. Ray asks Elisa and Evie to help free Albert's friends. While Amelia is increasingly curious about Ray's actual figure, why can he defeat a monster like this with just one attack? But suddenly, an unexpected incident happened.